in supporting everybody that you work with, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your approach to mentorship. And I know it's a passion of yours. And so how do you think about that as a big part of the work that you do and how you build your team and your community?
I'm really big on teamwork. It is my job to lead the way, but because I've been given so many opportunities, I just really think that surrounding myself with a good team and giving them opportunities and trying to mentor them along the way it is just huge. It's my turn to pay forward in my mind. And to just see the next generation come in and how the next generation needs to understand what I might be explaining, which is more old construction. Let's go out there and get it done, and how technology fills into that. I could see the next generation kind of struggles with that as well. But I'm just real big on teamwork. Give everybody a lot of opportunity, and just stick with them and don't let them quit. And at the end of the day, when the job is success, just really just proud of the people that I work with and, the team that I've had.
And it's such a important mindset to have as far as what you're alluding to, because if you're a manager and you have in the back of your head, like, I'm a dictator of this project or something, that doesn't lift up your people. But you get to step back, and it's been one of the more rewarding things that I've had a chance to do in my career is I step into a leadership position and say, how can I help you? What is blocking your success right now so I can get it out of your way so you can, step into that next level of your career and start growing. But one of the bigger things that you just mentioned that I think is so important right now is, how do we take the knowledge that you have right now and how do we pair that with the knowledge that some of the younger generations have with technology? Because those have to be married, because it's the future of how we're going to be building. But the other part of it, and it's a little bit of a scary one as we think about the labor shortage, is how do we retain the knowledge that you have as you move towards retirement, and a lot of other people in this industry start stepping towards, handing the torch off to the next generation, to keep that knowledge of how to build and not just focus on the technology piece too, because you can't have one or the other. You have to have both at this point to stay competitive and continue building within the expectations of all the owners and the different projects and the ecosystems we support.
Well, so over the last 10 years, when I was at DPR Construction, I would get teams that would come out and work with me, and I'd like to give those teams, each one of those guys, they have their scope, and have them understand the schedule, the logistics. And so for me, I'm big on schedules and I'm big on logistics. And I'm big on that at the very beginning when I'm buying the job. And I try to just stay with that all the way through. It just tells us how we're going to get to the finish line, our schedules do. And logistics is what's the flow of the job. So I try to explain that to all my team members, including my engineers, to say, hey, here's what we're going to do. As you're talking to our subcontractors, just go through the schedule. It tells us when we're going to pour concrete. It tells us when we're going to hang iron. It's telling the glazer when he needs to be on site and casework and so on. Keep planting that into their minds. As I would say to my young engineers when I come in, every day I would say, have you talked to all your subs today? And that doesn't mean just put an email out. That means get them on the phone and have you talked to them? Have you read our schedule? Are you looking months and months ahead? And by doing that, it just sinks in, the repetition of me saying every day, first thing I would say, 7:00 in the morning, have you started talking to your subs today? Same goes for my field guys. Hey, how many guys you got on the job? Are they where we need them to be? Are we all following the schedule? And so again, when I was at DPR for 10 years, I would get folks that would work with me for 2 to 3 years on a project. And then at the end of that project, discussing with the office, where everybody was going to go, I would actually ask for those folks to go off of my job. And it wasn't because they failed. It was because I felt like, hey, they'd had 2 or 3 years of working with me, and now they have the Allen style, but they need to go out and experience other ways that other superintendents are going to do business. And with all of that, just like me when I was coming up, you pick and you choose what does and doesn't work for you. and I think you just hone your skills. And so I know that I still get guys that worked with me 3 years ago that will call me up and just kind of sanity check, and I just enjoy, that kind of relationship that, it's not just a work relationship. It's a friendship.